Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, freeze warnings in effect for parts of north central Florida. The UF weather team is tracking how long the freezing temperatures will continue.
Plus, cold weather safety, how you can keep plants and your homes protected during dangerously low temps.
And it's Giving Tuesday, how to prevent yourself from getting scammed during the holiday season. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, from the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Temperatures are dropping as we head into the early evening. In just a few hours, neighbors across north central Florida will see the coldest temps of the season.
Welcome to WUFT's First at 5. I'm Juan Chaoui.
And I'm Roches. Thanks for joining us. Freeze warnings are in place for much of north central Florida for tonight into tomorrow morning. UF forecaster Matthew Clark joins us now from the Weather Center. Matthew, it's supposed to get cold once the sun goes down.
Yeah, with that sun setting pretty early now, around 5:30, it's going to be like that for the next couple of weeks. That sun setting pretty early is going to bring us some colder temperatures early in the evening. Beautiful orange and blue sunset starting to set up on our campus cam overlooking Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Temperature right now 55 degrees, but once that sun starts to go down, those temperatures are going to drop below freezing, even past midnight, going into the low 30s, 30 degrees in around 4 a.m. And then when you're waking up on your Wednesday morning, temperatures 29 degrees in Gainesville. It's been a minute since we've seen temperatures in the 20s. It's been since January of last year. Record low temperature in Gainesville was December 4th, 1989. Tomorrow morning, 29 degrees. So we're just 5 degrees further from that. It's going to be very cold. Winter weather effect and freeze warning from Hernando County all the way up through parts of Duval and Alachua County for tomorrow morning as well.
With those temperatures expected to hit lows in the 30s this week, cold shelters in north central Florida prepare to welcome those who need a warm place to stay. In Alachua County, Grace Marketplace will provide shelters starting at 7 p.m. tonight. St. Francis House will be taking in neighbors who need a warm place to stay every night except Wednesday this week. Those who want to stay should arrive between 7 and 9 p.m.
As temperatures dip in Gainesville, it's not just people bundling up. Plants and crops are feeling the chill too. WUFT's Radaysha joins us live to share a few local business owners' concerns about the weather.
Here in Gainesville, the cold snap isn't just nipping at your nose. It's taking a toll on local farmers and nurseries. From rotten tomatoes to wilted lettuce, these growers race to protect their plants.
The bunch that need to be covered up, we cover up probably 50 different crops.
Freezing temperatures can devastate local farmers as they work tirelessly to protect their crops. For Gainesville vegetable farmer Cody Galligan, the stakes are high.
The cold temperatures affect our farm. We lose a lot of crops to the cold, or a lot of crops are just stunted because of the cold, and our labor costs go up because we spend a lot of time protecting the fields and preparing for the cold.
Protecting crops during a cold snap takes time, effort, and resources. Cody's team uses techniques to minimize damage and to save their vegetables. They cover the vegetables in frost cloth and hope for the best. At a nearby nursery,
we're ready.
Owner Tom Thurston shares similar concerns as he works to save his plants from freezing.
We've already covered everything mostly. Tonight's the night we're going to get more damage.
Despite the challenges, Gainesville growers remain committed to their work by protecting the fields that feed,
even though they don't bloom right now,
and the plants that beautify the community. If you do not own a frost cloth, that's okay. Here at Green Market Nursery, they say use a bath sheet or use a sheet or a curtain to cover your plants. Live at Green Market Nursery, Radaysha Robinson, WUFT News.
Even with more vehicles on the road over the extended Thanksgiving holiday weekend, the average gallon of gas in Florida cost 3 cents less than last week, according to the AAA Auto Club. The average gallon of regular unleaded gas in the Sunshine State was $3.10 on Monday, 5 cents higher than the national average. The current average is down 6 cents per gallon from last year.
They're within the range of about $3 and $3.20. That's pretty comparable to what travelers were paying this time last year. So I wouldn't anticipate gas prices being a deterrent to keep people from taking a trip.
The lowest gas prices in the state are found in the Panhandle, while the most expensive fuel is being sold in Palm Beach and Monroe counties.
Across the state, school districts are dealing with a substitute teacher shortage. Here in North Central Florida, Alachua County is one exception. Substitute teachers play an important part in making sure students get an education, especially when full-time teachers are absent. While a number of school districts are struggling to find substitute teachers, Alachua County officials say they aren't experiencing this problem. Alachua County Public Schools Public Information Officer Jackie Johnson says they've never struggled with staffing substitutes. Their method? Johnson says they partner with an outside company, ESS, to recruit and train those looking to fill these positions.
They do a lot of work to not just recruit substitutes, but to make sure that we're working on retention, that those substitutes remain in our schools.
Johnson says ESS will regularly visit schools to make sure everything is running smoothly. On top of that, Alachua County Public Schools will do weekly trainings with their substitutes to make sure they're prepared for any assignments. Johnson says even though they aren't experiencing a shortage, they are always looking for substitute teachers. To apply for this position, you can visit ESS.com.
This week is Older Driver Safety Awareness Week. In 2022, there are about 8,000 people ages 65 and older killed in traffic crashes. That's according to a report from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They remind older drivers, friends, and families. Older drivers should get familiar with the vehicle's driver assistance features and adjust mirrors and seats properly. Friends and families are recommended to note specific concerns about the person's driving in order to approach a conversation about their safety.
Giving Tuesday is a global movement that encourages individuals to donate to charities in order to support their communities. However, as WUFT's Sofia Mendez joins us live to tell us, the likelihood of becoming a victim of scams increases along with charity.
That's right. In order to prevent your generosity from ending up in the wrong hands, law enforcement warns people to proceed with caution. Gainesville Police Sergeant Nick Ferreira spoke with us about how to be safe when giving. Authorities say it's important to investigate the charity and the people who create it to verify the integrity of the website or fundraising campaign. Experts advise looking into who's in charge. We're told donors can avoid becoming victims of fraud by taking one extra precaution.
Yes, it's a wonderful trait that you want to give and help people out, but you also have to understand that scammers take advantage of people like you that don't question anything.
According to an NRP survey, 35% of people get fake charity requests on Giving Tuesday. Being vigilant is important on Giving Tuesday since online shopping and contribution habits have introduced new threats. In addition, Sergeant Nick Ferreira mentioned avoiding links sent through email or text messages. Instead, he said to go directly to the charity's official website. Live in the studio, Sofia Mendez, WUFT News.
Customers of Florida's largest power company will see a bump of about $12 in monthly bills next year to cover restoration costs from the 2024 hurricane season. The State Public Service Commission on Tuesday unanimously approved a $1.2 billion interim recovery package for Florida Power and Light. It's aimed at covering power restoration costs for hurricanes Debbie, Helene, and Milton. Florida Rising attorney Jordan Lukeman told the commission during Tuesday's meeting that the power company's recovery package will negatively impact residential customers. But FPL attorney Joel Baker told the panel that the storm cost recovery process has been used before.
FPL's customers don't cause these storms, but are required to pay the costs of cleaning up after. FPL should have some skin in the game, and we urge the commission to consider not automatically passing all restoration costs through to FPL's customers.
This is the exercise of an approved storm cost recovery mechanism that was included in the 2021 rate case settlement, which we've exercised on a prior occasion.
FPL wants to recover the costs from customers over a 12-month period starting in January.
The Bring the Harvest Home food drive is underway now throughout Ocala. If you're looking to donate, you can drop off non-perishable food, baby, and personal hygiene at a drop-off location by December 5th. You can also attend the main event in Ocala's downtown square this Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 1. The Dixie County leaders are launching 23 new electric school buses at a ribbon-cutting ceremony on December 10th. The buses were purchased with a $9 million rebate and is part of a movement to phase out diesel buses. The ceremony is open to the public at the Dixie Transportation Depot starting at 9:30 a.m.
Coming up after the break, the loom of a government shutdown clouds the Capitol as Trump prepares to return to the White House. Also, one woman is keeping history alive with her restoration efforts, how she is shining a light on a town's dark past.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Congress is back in session today, reacting to President Biden's, quote, full and unconditional pardon of his son, Hunter Biden, and preparing for the incoming Trump cabinet. President-elect Donald Trump's pick for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is meeting with senators ahead of what may be a challenging confirmation process.
Lawmakers are back on Capitol Hill today, senators meeting with President-elect Trump's cabinet selections. Defense Secretary pick Pete Hegseth pressed on his past comments that he thought women should not serve in combat roles.
We have amazing women who serve in our military.
Do you think they should be in combat?
I think they're already in combat.
That amid new allegations in a New Yorker article about a 2015 report written by former employees of a veterans organization Hegseth ran, accusing him of being repeatedly intoxicated, quote, to the point of needing to be carried out of the organization's events.
Mr. Hegseth, do you have an alcohol problem?
NBC News has not independently verified the report. A Hegseth advisor told The New Yorker the, quote, outlandish claims came from a petty and jealous, disgruntled former associate. At the same time, The New York Times is reporting Hegseth's mother called him an abuser of women who belittles, lies, and cheats in a 2018 email while he was going through a divorce. Mrs. Hegseth told The Times she regretted the email and had immediately apologized. The Trump team standing by the pick.
He's going to be a great person to lead the DOD and that he didn't do anything wrong.
President-elect Trump's choice for FBI Director Kash Patel also under scrutiny. The former federal prosecutor and Trump loyalist has long disparaged the agency he's now tapped to lead.
I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one.
Amid bipartisan backlash over President Biden's sweeping pardon of his son Hunter.
And as a member of Congress, I'm pretty angry.
One longtime Biden ally pointing to President-elect Trump's administration picks and his campaign rhetoric.
To go after his political opponents and enemies, he concluded that that was certain to happen.
Controversy in the final weeks of this Congress. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The state of Florida and FEMA will open one-day farm recovery centers for farmers affected by Hurricanes Milton, Helene, and Debbie. The centers will be open in Hamilton, Suwannee, Lafayette, Levy, and Polk counties from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. FEMA leaders will offer assistance for Florida's agriculture and aquaculture producers to learn about disaster recovery and assistance available after a storm. For more information on what days the shelters are open, visit WUFT.org.
Resurrecting to remember is the goal behind a new museum that honors Rosewood. The city of Archer will open a new museum in 2026 to, quote, resurrect the town of Rosewood. 88-year-old founder Lizzie Robinson Jenkins wants to make sure the Civil War era town isn't forgotten. The Maholda Gussie Brown Carrier Museum will open in Archer, 35 miles out from Rosewood. The name honors the memory of her late Aunt Gussie and those lost in the Ku Klux Klan targeted attack, which happened on New Year's Day over a century ago.
We saw some freezing temperatures this morning, but it's not the coldest it's going to get. I'll have just how cold it's going to be after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
If you were out and about this morning at around 7 a.m., temperature was 30 degrees, which on this day was just 2 degrees warmer than our record low, 28 degrees on December 3rd, 2010. That was 14 years ago, just 2 degrees shy. The rest of our area, some of us saw some 20s, 27 in Cross City and 27 up in High Springs. It was a very sub-freezing morning this morning. Right now, though, it's beautiful out there. Look at that orange and blue sunset setting up. Temperature right now, 55 degrees. Getting some gusty winds from the north-northwest. That's why we're getting some cold air around here. Look at that over Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, beautiful sunset overlooking campus. No clouds in the sky right now, very dry out there. Temperatures the rest of our area though, 58 in Ocala, 56 in Plaka, and 53 over in Stark. Those temperatures are going to start to drop as we head into the overnight hours though. Wind also helping us stay a little bit cooler. Right now the winds are starting to die down. Earlier it was around 20 degrees. 20 miles per hour, but right now around 11 miles per hour here in Gainesville. And then when that sun sets, those temperatures are going to plummet into the 30s. Sub-freezing temperatures in the early morning hours, 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., 30 degrees. Then when you're waking up on your Wednesday morning, if you're going out and about for a morning run or walking the dog, 29 degrees in Gainesville. That is just 5 degrees warmer than the record low for tomorrow. 26 over in Lake City and 25 up in Live Oak. Most of these are below freezing temperatures, so we do have a freeze warning set in place from 11 p.m. to 9 a.m. So mainly for the plans chance all the way from Hernando County down south up through Duval County, part of Marion County, and Ocala is in effects for this freeze warning, and everything to the east is in a frost advisory, so could be waking up to see some jack frost nipping at your nose on your Wednesday morning. High pressure system overhead right now, bringing in a lot of cool air from the north, keeping us dry and very cool as we head into the rest of the week. Though high pressure system is going to start to move its way further to the east, and we could get about a 10% chance of rain late into Thursday night and into early Friday morning, about a 10% chance. But this front is going to just keep us cool again, going to be reaching up into the 70s as we head into around Wednesday. Could see some 70s on Thursday, 71 as a high on Thursday. And then Friday, when that front moves back, we're back into the 60s as our highs and 30s in the lows. This weekend, though, temperatures are going to be very beautiful. Clear skies overhead as well. Temperature 70 degrees on Sunday as a high, but it's just going to be cold for the rest of the week as we head into next week, though. Temperatures are going to start to rise, but look at that, 29 degrees on Wednesday. The rest of the week, though, pretty fluctuating.
We are officially less than 24 hours away from National Early Signing Day, and the future of the Florida Gators football team is looking brighter than ever before. With the Gators still in the hunt for multiple big-name recruits, we'll have everything you need to know about the latest on the recruiting trail and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
I'm Jack Meyer here with everything you need to know about what's going on in the wide world of sports today. Let's kick things off this afternoon with some college football as we are now less than 24 hours away from National Early Signing Day. The Florida Gators have been red hot on the recruiting trail as of late. In the last 16 days, Florida has flipped 11 recruits, including 7 4-stars, to go from outside the top 50 in this year's trail to the 10th best class in the nation. Following UF's emphatic 31-11 win over Florida State last weekend, the Gators have landed a pair of commitments in the last 2 days from 4-star defensive lineman Joseph Mbachu and 4-star defensive back Hilton Stubbs. The Gators are still in the hunt for several big-name recruits that could announce their commitments tomorrow afternoon. Some potential names to keep an eye out for include 5-star offensive lineman Solomon Thomas, 4-star cornerback Onis Konanbani, and 5-star wide receivers Dallas Wilson and Jane French. We'll have more on Florida's early signing day action tomorrow afternoon. Now let's cross on over to the hardwood, where the Florida Gators women's basketball team snapped a 4-game losing skid last night with a dominant win over Hofstra University. It was far from a perfect performance from the Gators, who shot just 25% from the field in the second quarter. Nonetheless, Florida found its mojo in the second half and never looked back, eventually cruising to a 75-48 win. Senior center Roches Kyle and freshman wing Miara O'Neal each came away with a double-double on the evening. O'Neal's 14 points and 10 rebounds last night marked the first double-double of her young career.
Last night I was really daydreaming about how I was going to play today, so I was just trying to live up to that. And we were big on intensity. She was big on intensity, telling us to be intense, so I was just trying to live up to that and give my best effort.
The Gators will hit the road for their next matchup as they travel to South Carolina for an ACC-SEC showdown against the Clemson Tigers. Tip-off time there is set for Thursday at 8 p.m. Meanwhile, Florida's men's basketball squad is set to take to the Stephen C. O'Connell Center tomorrow for some midweek action of its own. UF is set to play host to the Virginia Cavaliers for its own SEC-ACC Challenge matchup. Following their 8-0 start to the season, the Gators are up to number 13 in the country in the latest AP poll. Florida will look to keep this momentum rolling against the Cavaliers, with tip-off time tomorrow set for 7:15 p.m. And finally, the final batch of college football playoff rankings before this weekend's conference championship slate are set to come out tonight. 3 teams that were previously ranked in last week's top 15 all lost on Saturday, leaving plenty of room for shakeups with this year's playoffs right around the corner.
Now, you know, Jack, before we go, I just got to say it's been a pleasure working alongside you, Mar, and Matthew this semester. It's been amazing, and I'm super happy to have been here, and thank you.
That's right, and if you guys didn't know, it's our last show today, and I am as well super thankful to be around you guys. This is a great crew.
It's been a great crew, great semester. I've had so much fun with you guys, and now since it's the last show, I get to do something I've always wanted to do. Matthew, can you give us the final weather?
Thank you, Jack, but you guys can't get rid of me too quickly. I will be here as long as the weather is here, and we do have plenty of weather. Temperatures in 29 degrees as a low tomorrow morning. The rest of the week, though, going to be pretty fluctuating in the 60s, getting up to the 70s as we head past the weekend and into next week. Cold weather on our way this week, though.
Thanks for joining us. We're back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.